This has gotten significantly harder. Just to clarify, we're not in home stretch territory yet, are we?
No. The view from up here is undescribable, honestly. Even if I had the breath to come up with words.
We're Jess and Miles. In 2019, we quit our jobs to pursue a dream of long-term travel around the world. Like everyone, 2020 threw us a curveball, and after traveling for 6 months, we were brought back to the US due to COVID-19. We are now back on the road, exploring more of our own beautiful country, and have spent the past 3 weeks in Colorado hiking in the Rockies. We now have one final exciting adventure planned before we head to our next spot.
It is our last weekend in Colorado. We have spent 3 amazing weeks here. We have hiked nearly 80 miles at this point, and today we are ending with a bang. We are attempting to summit Mount Elbert, which is not only our first 14er, but it's Colorado's tallest mountain.
Colorado has 58 mountains that are over 14,000 feet, and even though Mount Elbert is the tallest, it's said to be one of the easier ones, but easy in the sense that it's not very technical. For two people who are from the southeast, 5,000 feet of elevation gain can never be classified as easy. And if we're successful today, this will be the highest we've ever climbed.
It was a super early morning for us today. Our alarm went off around 2 a.m. It was a 2.5-hour drive to the trailhead, and we got started right around 5. We've already been on the trail for about an hour and a half, and the sun is rising on the mountains behind me. It is absolutely beautiful. There are actually a couple different route options to the summit of Mount Elbert, and we're doing the southeast ridge via the Black Cloud Trail. It's around 10 miles there and back, and on the way there, we're going to be gaining roughly 1,000 feet of elevation per mile.
Apparently the Northeast Ridge is the most popular trail, and from what we read, this is definitely a more difficult route to the summit, but it should be more scenic and have a lot less people, so hopefully the tougher route pays off.
So they were not lying about this trail being steep, but I feel like we did about as much prep as we possibly could have in the past few weeks. We even tried our hand at a 13er last week, made it 180 feet from the top, but that's a whole other story. But we're just taking it slow and feeling good so far.
We've been hiking for about 2.5 hours, and we're still in the shadow of the mountain. We're at about 12,000 feet and working our way up these switchbacks to the ridge, and this really is a beautiful hike so far. The camera definitely does not do the steepness of this trail justice.
What would you say, full on 45-degree angle that we're going up?
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's intense. The sun is about to make its way over that ridge.
Each time we think we've been through the steepest part, it just gets a little bit steeper. It's pretty slow going now, but we're making progress.
This has gotten significantly harder.
That last mile was nothing short of brutal, but we're making it up to the ridge and we're gonna stop and have a snack.
We've made it up to the ridge. I think we're about 3 miles in at this point, and we climbed 4,000 vertical feet to get here. We have about 2 miles to go, and we're just gonna be following along the ridge to this summit, hopefully, but the views from here are incredible.
It's already almost 10 o'clock, and to be honest, I thought we'd be pretty close to the summit by now. We've been hiking for almost 5 hours, and from the looks of what we have left, we've got a long way to go. Hiking along this ridge with 360-degree views was one of the main reasons why we chose this route, and it is not disappointing so far.
Typically, anything that calls itself a ridge makes me a little bit nervous, but this is nice and wide so far. Hopefully it stays that way. And also, the physical aspect of this aside, this part is very mentally challenging. We can see the summit the entire way along this ridge, and it still feels like we have so far to go.
making it to the top of the south summit now, which will officially put us over 14,000 feet, but we're not quite there yet. We still gotta go all the way there. So I know I said that there are 58 14ers in Colorado, and right now I'm questioning why we chose the tallest one, now that we're at 14,000 feet.
Let's wrap this up.
We are taller than so many mountains already.
Just to clarify, we're not in home stretch territory yet, are we?
No. Now we get to enjoy a nice meandering walk for about a mile at 14,000 feet. Yeah, there's only 300 feet of elevation change from here to there. I was cursing those really steep parts, but I would take a really short 300-foot steep section to go ahead and hit the summit and start making our way back down, because we still got a ways to go. And I feel like I've said that at least 15 times. Last push.
Feels like a lot longer than last.
I know, right? And that right there is not quite the top. It's teasing us. One step at a time. I cannot begin to express just how proud I am of Jess right now. She has been leading the way this entire hike, and it is everything that I've got just to try and keep up. And she just keeps plugging along. She's a machine. There she goes, plotting her way to the summit. 20 paces ahead of me at all times. I can finally confidently say we are on the home stretch. So many false summits, but now we can definitely see the top. And the view from up here is undescribable, honestly. Even if I had the breath to come up with words. How we doing, baby?
So, my heart is beating out of my chest. Part of me wants to cuss, part of me wants to cry. I'm sure I'll be excited once we're there, but this has been really rough.
Whew. We made it.
I cannot believe we made it. 14,433 feet, the highest point in Colorado. That was not easy, but these views are amazing.
It took us a little over 7 hours to get up here, which was 2 hours more than I thought it would. It's already 12:30, so we're not going to be able to hang out long. The clouds are starting to build now. So we just made our way back across the ridge. There's a little bit of a storm building behind us, so we definitely want to get down to the trees as fast as we can. And we just spent the better part of 4 hours above 13,500 feet, so we are both completely wiped. And now we've got 4,000 vertical feet to go down. So here goes nothing. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed we even hiked up this.
We are basically running down this mountain, and we are still really far from the trees.
Well, we made it down before the storm, but I'm editing this video right now, and watching it back, I have to say I'm really impressed with Jess. She handled this hike like a champ. I, on the other hand, ran out of water right about here when we were leaving the summit, and the wheels kind of fell off the tracks for me. Wow, I'm out of breath. I don't care. Mount Elbert might be considered an easy 14er, but it was definitely one of the toughest hikes we've ever done. As difficult as it was, I'm proud that we were able to make it to the top and now be able to say that we climbed the highest mountain in Colorado and the second highest in the lower 48.